Cervical mucus. What is normal and what is not? Can you really use this to help your body? Hi friends, I'm Dr. Natalie Crawford, a board certified OBGYN and REI. I'm a fertility doctor and welcome to the channel. We are here to talk about your fertility health hormones and help you be a better advocate for your own health. I have so many exciting things happening. So really quickly, you may have noticed the As a Woman podcast being here on this channel. Please take a look at some of those videos where we go much more into detail on some of these topics and write in the comments what you want to have more longer form episodes on. Also, we're getting really close to some very exciting news. If you want to be some of the first to be in the loop about it, please sign up for the newsletter. The newsletter is nataliecrawfordmd.com/newsletter. And also on the newsletter, you will get my ultimate cycle guide. So this is going to help you understand tracking your cycles, what's happening in your cycle, and cycle syncing. So please go ahead and go over to the newsletter. You'll get this guide, which will be a great resource for everything we're talking about today with cervical mucus. Today, we're going to talk about what cervical mucus is, what it tells you about your hormones, how to use it to understand your cycle and your fertility, and when things are not normal. So what is cervical mucus? Cervical mucus is fluid made by the glands inside the cervix, and it changes in relation to estrogen and progesterone throughout your cycle. Its purpose is to help protect the uterine environment from what we call ascending infections, meaning anything in the vagina that wants to get into the uterus. The cervix is the entry point to the uterus. Now, also, the cervical mucus has to allow sperm to get through when it wants you to get pregnant. And that is why the consistency of the cervical mucus changes in response to your hormones. So remember, it is a direct hormone response. Your cervical glands don't know what's actually happening in your ovaries or in your brain or inside your uterus even. It is just a response to the hormone signals because the hormones tell the cervical glands what to do. So cervical mucus is going to change throughout the cycle. So in the menstrual phase, then follicular, ovulation, and luteal. Remember, those are considered the 4 phases of the cycle. Of course, we spend most of our time in the follicular as you're growing a follicle. Menses is the start of that when you're still bleeding. Ovulation is when you are releasing the egg and the egg only has 24 hours to live. And then the luteal phase is after ovulation has occurred and the corpus luteum has reformed, and now you have progesterone being made by the corpus luteum. So the point of cervical mucus is to try to help sperm get close to the egg when you have an egg and to not allow anything inside the uterus when you don't have an egg. So this means that you're going to notice some changes throughout the time. Now, cervical mucus is both the sensation and the properties of the mucus. When you're checking your cervical mucus, that's what I want you to think about. And it's actually a lot easier to check than many people think about. So when we think about this, we're going to go through how to check it. How do you check your cervical mucus? And then what does it tell you and what you should expect with different phases? So how do you check it? You're going to just wipe with toilet paper when you go to the bathroom. This should be before you urinate because cervical mucus can fall right into the toilet. So contrary to popular belief, you don't actually have to insert your fingers inside. You can, but you don't have to. You can just wipe right at the vulva and see what's on the toilet paper. You might need to separate your labial lips to wipe, just depends on your specific anatomy. But then you're going to say, number 1, how does it feel? Meaning, is the sensation of the toilet paper on your vulva, is it dry? Is it damp? Is it wet? So how does it feel? And then you're going to say, is it rough, smooth, slippery? So how does the toilet paper feel? This is going to help you understand both the sensation at the vulva and the toilet paper. And then we're going to look at the mucus properties and we're going to notice, are there secretions? Are they thin? Are they thick? Are they creamy? Are they stretchy? Are they white? And that's going to give you the properties. So we're going to say there's 4 different types of cervical mucus, and this is going to go along with your cycle for the most part. Type number 1, cervical mucus, is considered where you have a very dry, rough sensation. So when you are wiping, feels dry and rough, and you really don't have any secretions. Look at the toilet paper, there's nothing there. That's type number 1. Type number 2 is when you're going to start to feel damp and smooth. Things don't feel rough, but when you look at the toilet paper, there's no secretions there. Type number 3 is going to feel damp and smooth as well. But now when you look at the toilet paper, you're going to notice that you feel some thick, creamy, whitish, sticky, so that you're starting to notice that there's mucus being produced, but it is more thicker. It's kind of cream consistency. Then when you look at type 4 cervical mucus, which is what we associate with that peak estrogen level, this is your ovulatory cervical mucus. When you wipe, you're going to notice it feels wet and slippery. So slippery toilet paper. So no longer damp, smooth, wet and slippery. And then the mucus is going to be that very classic egg white mucus, meaning it is stretchy, it is sticky, almost transparent. And if you think about this, you can imagine that if there's some creamy mucus, that's going to be harder for sperm to get through than this stretchy egg white cervical mucus that's really helping the sperm transport through it. So checking, it's actually a lot easier than most people think. I always say this is your free way to track. This is the easiest, simplest, least costly option there is for cycle tracking, and it's one of my favorite ones. We know that when you track your cycle, using more than one method can be the most advantageous, but using any method of what we call fertility awareness, which is using the signs and symptoms that your body gives you to try to determine when ovulation occurred, is going to be really helpful. So cervical mucus monitoring, or CMM, is one of these ways of tracking your fertility awareness and knowing when you really ovulate. So you can see, is your luteal phase as long as we want it to be, which is typically going to be 12 days or more in the perfect world? Are you ovulating at the set time when you expect? Is there a lot of variation month to month? And if you're trying to get pregnant, you're going to want to target intercourse on the day where you have that cervical mucus. So if we think about what's happening is that estrogen is changing the properties of the cervical mucus. So when you're on your period, there's really not any noticeable mucus. And then in the follicular phase, as your body starts to make estrogen, you're going to start to get into that creamy cervical mucus, that type 3, and then at peak estrogen levels, you're going to have that clear, stretchy, egg white mucus. And that's that peak fertility. And then after this, as you go into the luteal phase, you're going to notice maybe some thickening of the mucus, but honestly, it dries up. The mucus is going to dry up because the cervix becomes a barrier, wanting to protect that potential pregnancy and not allow anything to migrate inside the uterine cavity. So having cervical mucus is a good sign that you've got peak estrogen levels. If it occurs when you expect ovulation to, then it's awesome because it's really telling you about the different phases of the cycle and not just when you're bleeding, which is our typical outward sign. If you have no mucus at all or too much, those can be warning signs. And I do have to say that certain things can impact your cervical mucus because it is a sign of estrogen, but also it requires water to make. If you're dehydrated or drinking alcohol, if you're sick, if you're taking any type of allergy medication, then this can all change the consistency of the cervical mucus. It's also important to say that sometimes medications, like if you're taking Clomid, can change estrogen receptors. That actually may change the consistency of your cervical mucus, but hopefully your doctor's giving you plans on what to evaluate in other ways. Similarly, fevers, infection, chronic stress, all of this can change ovulation, and changing ovulation can impact how much estrogen you're making and if you're making enough cervical mucus. If the cervical mucus has any other signs, it shouldn't be itchy, you shouldn't have pain, it should not be foul smelling, it shouldn't be other colors, you really should not have any yellow or green. This is more vaginal discharge. And we're more concerned that that could be an infectious etiology and is definitely something that you want to go get checked out by your doctor to rule out an infection or something that you might need medical treatment for. If you have a lot of spotting, brown or bloody discharge should not be the norm. So if your cervical mucus is blood tinged a lot of the time throughout your cycle, this could be spotting, and we want to get that evaluated as well. In addition to hormonal issues, there's structural issues like endometrial polyps or fibroids that can cause spotting and also impact your ability to get pregnant. So your cervical mucus is giving you an idea of your hormones, it's giving you more insight into your estrogen and your peak fertility. And I think this is a way that you can really use this as a window into what's happening at the ovary level. And if you're able to trust it, this can make getting pregnant even easier. I hope you found this video interesting. We're going to be talking more about your fertility signs, so put any questions in the comments. Don't forget to check out the As a Woman podcast and also follow along on the newsletter, nataliecrawfordmd.com/newsletter, so you can be in the know for new exciting updates and big news coming soon. Thanks, friends.